What's up, guys? Jacob Ober here. Welcome to another episode of BuckTalk, and today we're going to be discussing Milwaukee's 104-99 victory over the Toronto Raptors. This was a very, very thrilling game, a game that came down to the final seconds. The Bucks at one point had a 9-point lead in this game in the fourth quarter, or maybe it was 11, I'm not sure, one of the two, but the Bucks let the Raptors get back into the game. The Raptors eventually took the lead, and with about a little over a minute to go, the Raptors had a 97 to 94 advantage before Malcolm Brogdon tied the game with a triple with just over a minute to play, and then the Bucks got the ball back with about 40 seconds left to play, and Malcolm Brogdon hit another triple to give the Bucks the lead, and that they would keep that lead for the entire game. They'd end up winning by 5. They were able to close this one out, and that has been a pretty big concern for the Bucks thus far this season. They have not been good at closing out basketball games, but tonight they did close out, and they closed out against perhaps the best closing team in the entire NBA in the Raptors. And really, the big difference between these two teams right now is the ability to close out games. I mean, the Raptors have done a really nice job of doing that. The Bucks have not, and that's the difference in their records right now. But the Bucks closed this one out. They took steps in the right direction. They played really, really well, especially over that final minute or so, and they did exactly what they needed to do to get a victory tonight. The scoring was pretty balanced for the Bucks. I believe Brook Lopez had 19 points on 5 of 8 shooting from 3. Giannis had 19 points, including the game-clinching dunk that made it a 3-point game, and after that, of course, Kawhi missed a 3, and then Ersan hit the free throws on the foul with the foul shots, and the Bucks were able to pull out the victory. But one thing that really is starting to concern me, though, Chris Middleton. What's going on with this guy? I'm not sure what exactly is the matter with Chris Middleton. He had the game in New York where he was benched for lack of effort. And then, ever since then, I mean, he had the game where he was out for a personal issue. We don't know exactly, or still don't know what that exactly was. I don't think we ever will. And then, after that, I mean, he's had some pretty dismal performances since then. And tonight, he finished 3 of 9, including 2 of 5 from 3-point shooting, and 10 points. Very, very underwhelming stat line. I mean, this is the guy where we talk about being in line to get a max contract. This guy does not seem like he's worth max money right now. He just doesn't. I mean, he's got to start playing better. I mean, I want to see Chris Middleton be more consistent. I mean, he's a good player. He's a really, really good player, a really talented player, a guy who can really shoot the 3, create his own shot. He definitely has superstar potential in this league, but, I mean, for the past few seasons, we've seen a lot of this out of Chris Middleton. He's inconsistent. He goes on stretches where he's insane, and you're like, that guy is one of the top players in the NBA. And then he goes on other stretches where he's like, this is really a guy we're talking about getting a big contract? I mean, this guy looks like nothing more than a role player. So, I mean, it's a tale of two personalities for Chris Middleton, I guess, on the floor. He'll either be on or he'll be off, and he's never able to just kind of, even on his off nights, just kind of scrap together, a quiet 15 or 20 or anything like that. He's just not consistent enough for me, and he's got to be able to get better at that. I mean, we saw how good he was at the beginning of the season and in the playoffs last year, and, I mean, if that Chris Middleton from the playoffs and the beginning of this year comes back, this team is almost unstoppable. But, I mean, they're very, very vulnerable if they don't have that second guy in Chris Middleton playing like we know he can play. Right now, Eric Bledsoe, in my opinion, is the second best player on this team. Chris Middleton's got to start playing better. So, but other than that, though, this game was really thrilling. A really good win for the Bucks over the number 1 seeded Toronto Raptors. Currently the first team in the East. I believe the Bucks are number 2. And on the road, by the way, I mean, Toronto, like I said, it's a really, really tough environment to play in. But they were able to go in. They weren't fazed by the crowd noise, especially late. I mean, that crowd got really, really loud, you could tell. But the Bucks, they played their game, and they came out with a W, and that's all that matters. The Bucks are now 2-0 versus the Raptors, even though the Raptors have the edge in the standings. If it comes down to it, the Bucks, I mean, they're looking at the very least a split. If they win one more game in this series, they've got the season series, and they're going to have that advantage over the Raptors when it comes to playoff time, if that is indeed the determining factor in seeding with these two teams. But anyways, guys, still, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in and discussing this game with me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Was this the best Bucks win of the season thus far? And what's going on with Chris Middleton? Do you think that Chris Middleton will figure it out? Do you think that he can become more consistent or not? Leave your comment in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And go Bucks.